But for these three, I can guarantee you that if you read them, your life will never remain the same and your creativity will thank you. In today's episode, I'm going to be performing a book review of 3 of the top best books that you can read to enhance your creativity this year. Now, I encourage you to listen to this episode to the end because the third book is a very explosive book so that you won't need to waste your time in trial and error looking for books to enhance your creativity, because I've already done the work for you. I've read all these books and I believe that if you read these books, it's going to catapult you to a higher plane in your creativity. And so I'll be giving you my honest feedback and honest recommendation. I'm going to be dropping the links to all the books that I'm going to be reviewing in this episode in the show notes or in the description below. So do well to check them out and get yourself a copy of these books so that you can get yourself cranking again as far as creativity is concerned. Now, the first book that I'm going to be recommending for you if you want to enhance and boost your creativity is a book titled Think Big by Dr. Ben Carson. Now, this book is so powerful, and the subtitle of this book says Unleashing Your Potential for Excellence. Ben Carson is an author that I've always loved. Years ago, when I started getting interested in the subject of personal development, in the subject of creativity, in the subject of how the mind works, how the brain works, how to go from becoming nobody to becoming somebody, Ben Carson was one of the authors that really helped me to dial in my creativity and help me discover a lot of potentials that I otherwise would not have discovered. Now, for those of you who do not yet know who Ben Carson is a world-renowned retired neurosurgeon, and he's also a former United States presidential candidate. Now, in this book, he shares his inspiring life story and inspiration that guided him through success. Ben Carson is a man who was tagged a dummy in 5th grade while he was a young boy. Despite that narrative, he went on to become a great neurosurgeon who achieved lots of remarkable feats in his field and in his industry through creative displays and innovative thinking. And so the book Think Big is a really powerful book that you can read to help stimulate your creativity and go from where you are to where you need to be, especially if you're in a place right now where nobody has given you a chance and nobody actually think any good can come out of you. Reading this book is one investment that you can do to stimulate and activate and catalyze your creativity and your problem-solving capacity into the realm where you'll be able to unleash your purpose and actualize your potential. In this book, Ben Carson describes how overcoming adversity is very important in manifesting your creativity, and he used the story of how he was a troubled young boy in a troubled home, and despite the challenges that he faced as a young boy with a single mother, went on to actually discover himself through the help of that same mother, and then he went on to become a renowned neurosurgeon. Ben Carson also went vulnerable. He went into details about his mother. He went into details about his father. He really spent some time to give some vulnerable details about his life and about his background, just to give the reader a sense of empathy and help them know that regardless of your humble beginning, you can actually become a great person in life. His story inspires readers to overcome obstacles and challenges in their own lives. Another key takeaway that you'll find in this book is how Ben Carson emphasizes the importance of education. And when Ben Carson speaks about education, he speaks about it from a very diverse point of view, because Ben Carson was a young boy and he learned a lot of things by reading on his own, by reading books and by having a thirst and a hunger for knowledge. And so that's one thing Ben Carson really emphasizes in the principles that he shares in this book. And when you read Ben Carson's books, you find how that reading books can help you shorten your learning curve and help you achieve greatness, unlock your potential, and manifest your creativity. Another key takeaway that you can get from this book is the concept of thinking big, thinking beyond your comfort zone, thinking beyond your present condition, and projecting yourself into new realities by creating the right pictures in your mind. That was something that Ben Carson did when he was faced with big challenges in his career. Another key takeaway that you find in this book is the connection between the mind and the brain. Ben Carson goes into details to explain how understanding how the brain functions really impacted his understanding and impacted his problem-solving acumen and impacted his creativity. In this book, Ben Carson explains how his mother always challenged him whenever he came to her with problems, and that forced him to always look inwards and stimulate himself for answers. You see, understanding the capacity of the human brain can help you to really explore the length and breadth of your potential and help you manifest your creativity like nothing else. And one final key takeaway that you get from this book is how that you have a moral obligation to be creative. Ben Carson spoke about how that the society needs you to manifest your creativity, such that because of the needs and the problems in our society, necessity has been laid on you to actually look inwards and channel your inner genius and your creative energy towards positive things that will lead to the betterment of society. One thing I really like and appreciate about Think Big is how Ben Carson really opened his life to readers and help everyone see his vulnerabilities and see his weaknesses and see his strength and see how he was able to bring strength out of weakness, how he was able to turn his story around and become a phenomenon in his own right. Now, another very powerful book that I recommend you read is the book Ignite Your Creativity. Now, this book is going to help you go from idea, talent, skills, gifts to creative and profitable solution. And this book is written by no other person but me. You can even see on the front cover of the book, you see my picture right there. Now, even though I wrote this book, I've read this book over and over again, and every time I read this book, it stimulates my creativity. It helped me get in the zone. The reason why I wrote this book was to fill a void that I see in society today. And that void is that many people are going to the grave with their gifts, skills, ideas, talents, potentials unbirthed and unmanifested. These are people who have the capacity to become more, but do not know how, why, where, or when to birth their brain children. So this book that I wrote, titled Ignite Your Creativity, is actually crafted and designed to help you bridge the gap between your ideas and turning those ideas to reality. Now, in this book, I covered several categories of potential creatives who never become creative. And these are people who are dormant. They have dormant ideas. These are people who are suppressed. They've suppressed their ideas, their skills, their gifts, or their talent because of their environment, or because of a restriction, or because of their company policies, or because of their religious inclinations. There are also those who are discouraged creatives who, because of a lack of capital or a lack of resources, they have also buried their ideas. We have the fearful creatives, people who are afraid to manifest their gift, manifest their creativity because of a fear of the unknown or a fear of what people will say or do to them if they come out and manifest their creativity. You also have the stagnant creatives. These are people who have gotten to a point in their creative expedition that they have become stagnant and they are no longer moving the way they should move. We also have the lost creatives. These are potential creatives who have lost touch with their inner gift and with their inner genius. They can't even find that thing that is to make them come alive before. And so that gift, that skill, that talent they used to have many years ago has actually been lost because they've never used it and they've never activated it. Right? We also have the unrecognized creatives. These are creatives who try to manifest their creativity quite all right, but no one recognizes them, no one compensates them, no one appreciates them, no one acknowledges their contributions or their creative manifestation. No one wants to endorse their ideas, and because of all these things, they feel discouraged and they want to bury their gifts or just totally give up. Now, this book is created for these 7 categories of people. So if you find yourself in any of these 7 categories, you know that you are creative, but you are discouraged, or you feel lost, or your gifts are dormant, or you have suppressed your talent and your gift, or you are afraid of manifesting your creativity, or your creativity has become stagnant and you're now so discouraged, then this is the book that you should read. Now, this book is going to take you from where you are to where you want to be. It's going to help you go from idea to profitable creations. And this book has several worksheets that will help stimulate you on your journey in your creative expedition. Now, why did I write this book? What inspired me to write this book? In the year 2019, I was invited to a speaking engagement where I had the opportunity to speak to over 1,000 people in the audience. And in that speaking engagement, I spoke on what I tagged Creativity Accelerator. After that presentation, after that keynote, lots of people came to me and gave me lots of wonderful feedback of how impactful that teaching was. And so one of the people who came to appreciate me and, give me some feedback of how much they were impacted by my keynote, he asked me, he said, "Do you have a book about what you said today?" And I said, "No, I don't have a book about what I said, but I have another book that can be beneficial to you, can give you some insights into creativity, but not exactly containing what I've shared today." And when I said that, he got the book quite all right, but he still was not satisfied. And then he told me, "We need a book that contains what you've just shared today." And immediately he said that to me, I looked into his eyes, and when I looked into his eyes, I saw you listening to me in his eyes. I saw you and a million other people around the world who needed their creativity to be ignited. And that sowed a seed in my heart, and that was how the vision of this book was conceived. It took me 5 years after conceiving that vision to work on this book and produce it. And I'm so glad to have this book out there for everyone who wants to manifest their creativity, but they have one challenge or the other stopping them, or everyone who wants to go from idea, gift, skill, talent to profitable creation, but they have something stopping them to be able to overcome those challenges. Now, the next book that I'm going to recommend to you that can help you enhance your creativity this year is the book titled Limitless. And this book was written by Jim Quick. This book is going to help you upgrade your brain, learn anything faster, and unlock your exceptional life. This is so powerful. Now, this book is so powerful, and I left it to be the last because this book really transformed my life, and I believe that it's going to transform yours too. Now, I'll give you a bit of a background about the author of this book. When he was young, he was known as the boy with the broken brain. Why? Because he had an accident, and after that accident, he could not learn. He had problems and challenges with learning. And so it was a very traumatizing experience for him, growing up as a young boy, being called the boy with the broken brain by his classmates and by his class teachers. And it took him until after a while to find his aha moment. And when he found his aha moment, his creativity got ignited. And what really happened was that he discovered that if he could figure out how to learn faster, he could actually figure out how to become a better person. And that discovery changed the trajectory of Jim Quick. Today, Jim Quick is a renowned brain coach that also help people with memory optimization. Jim Quick has had the opportunity to work with many phenomenal individuals like Bill Clinton, Will Smith, Elon Musk, and the cast of the X-Men movie series. Jim Quick was the man that was tagged the boy with the broken brain, but he went on to become a brain coach that helps to fix people's brains. Now, what made a boy with a broken brain turn into a man that fixes people's brains? He ignited his creativity. He found his aha moment. Now, some key takeaways that you can find in this book titled Limitless by Jim Quick are memory enhancement, speed learning, the power of question, the reticular activating system of the brain, and how it works towards making you a better person and a better learner, how to develop the right mindset and to be confident, how to overcome digital deluge, digital distraction, digital dementia, and digital deduction. Now, Jim Quick really goes into details on how you can ask better quality questions and how you can remember things that you learn, and how you can learn with intentionality, and how you can actually stimulate your mind and stimulate your memory and stimulate your brain to bring forth creative ideas for you. Now, reading this book transformed my life, and I believe if you read it, it's going to transform your life. And so that brings me to the end of this book review. I hope you found it really valuable, and I hope you actually get one or more of these books to enhance your creativity this year. The links to this book, you can find them on the show notes or on the description below. I'm going to go over these 3 books again, just so you can remember them. The first book I mentioned is Think Big by Ben Carson. This book will transform your life, and it will help you enhance your creativity this year. I encourage you to get it. And the next book I mentioned is Ignite Your Creativity by Iredafe Owolabi. And this book will help you go from idea, gift, skills, and talent to profitable creation. I encourage you to grab a copy. You'll find the link in the description below, and you'll be glad you did. And the last but not the least is Limitless by Jim Quick. This book will help you upgrade your brain, learn anything faster, and unlock your exceptional life. The link can be found on the description below or on the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. If you're listening to this on YouTube or on whatever platform, feel free to drop in the comments and let me know which of these books you've actually read before or which other book you think can help to enhance creativity that has not been mentioned already in this video, and I'll definitely do well to also check it out because I also am looking for more books to read to help me enhance my creativity. But for these three, I can guarantee you that if you read them, your life will never remain the same and your creativity will thank you. Thank you once again for listening. Watch out for my next episode. Until then, have a good one.